Hi everyone, welcome to today's session. Thanks for joining me. I have a very simple concept to present today, but it's rather difficult in actual application. So basically this, you may have heard your teacher say practice random measures of your music and not go from beginning to end all the time. If you've never heard that, that's maybe the better place to start than what we're going to do today. For example, in my Bach, I might do from the very beginning, just like this. And play over and over until I'm at the end of the movement. That's not very helpful, and so it's definitely much better to go, well, can I skip a measure? Can I play the first measure, and then go to the third measure, and then the fourth measure, or fifth measure. See, it's already causing me to think. I've never done this on this piece. And then seventh measure. You know, that sort of thing. So you're jumping around, and then you want to go, can I start at random? Can I just maybe not name the measures, but can I sort of visualize where it is on the page? And for example, let's go with the E diminished. And I'm visualizing line 3 at the end. And let's check. We have, look at that. Line 3 at the very end, E diminished chord, and that's the passage. So it's like you're sort of testing yourself to see, can I start with no context? That's the first level of this. If you don't already do that kind of thing, turn this video off and start doing that for a couple months. Not literally, you can still learn from what I'm going to teach you here, but it's actually a much harder concept. So now the idea is to take that, but to intersperse it with different pieces back and forth, and even different composers. I learned this from a guy named Joshua Ross, who wrote a blog post basically just talking about preparing for auditions or competitions and getting those pieces to the highest possible level of security. I've been doing it, and it's incredibly helpful and super demanding because I think what happens is your brain has to change gears right away to a different composer, different tempo, different mood, and you're just so confused, and you start questioning everything. Am I even on the right fingering? Is this the right octave, or should it be an octave up, or whatever? Because there's so many things that you're playing along in context, and you just do because of muscle memory, because of what came right before it. But if you just have to start on it, especially after coming from a different piece, your brain just has that much more level of awareness to what you're doing. So at first it's impossibly hard, and then you try it a few times, and you're like, wait, okay, now I know what the questions are. You look at the sheet music, you answer that question, and you've brought the level of conscious awareness to a higher level than you could ever get it if you just looked at the music and didn't do this exercise. So there's a passage of the Chopin Scherzo I'm struggling to memorize. It's this A major in the middle. And actually, I think I flipped the rhythm. I know the notes. I flipped too far. Yeah, I did. See, I go dotted instead of... I forget which ones are just quarter notes and which ones are dotted quarters with eighths and that sort of thing. So here's what I'm going to do. Take one measure of the Chopin and one measure of a difficult spot of my Ligeti etude, and then go back and forth. And each time go to the next measure. So this is really confusing because you don't hear the flow and you get no context. But my goal is to make all this a little bit more comfortable. So here we go. I'll start with the Ligeti actually. I'll play the section for you once that I'm doing with the score, so I can actually get it right, a little under tempo. That passage as it descends down and then goes back to the top. It's the same rhythm every time, 4, 3, 2, 3, but the notes are weird, the fingerings are weird, and there's this little melody that changes by the smallest amount each measure. So I'm going to take one measure of that and actually two measures of the Chopin because it works better in units of two. So here we go. Starting with Ligeti. And then back to Ligeti. See, I don't even know what the second measure is now, and my temptation is to want to play the first one to figure it out, but I'm like, no, I have to figure this out. I think it's G. I just don't know how that would work out. So if you can't figure it out at all, go ahead and check. Which would be, oh, it's on F. So see, this confirms the question I had. I can either say I was right or I was wrong, but this really helps. So this whole tone part, and all four are together. All four notes. They're like really condensed. So okay, now I'm not gonna look. Gonna start again. So we're good. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then let's see. I would be tying in. So this would be tied 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I think that's it. And then Ligeti. I think it's F again, but it's a different pattern. No, it's E flat. Where there's a tritone. The hands play together. So now back to Chopin. Second time. Measure 5 of it. I think it starts the same. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, back to Ligeti. I think it's a tritone again, but it goes down to D flat this time. Back to Chopin. It's also going to be tied the second time. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and oh, I went too far. 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3, and this time it's dotted. The second time it's smooth and then jagged, and then back to Ligeti. No. Okay, I'm really confused at this point. I think it goes down to the white key. But I'm pretty lost in that. Chopin. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. At this point I have 4 notes down. 2 in the left, 2 in the right. Also I got the fingering wrong, I think. It starts with this and then changes. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then off. One more Ligeti, let's see. I know that is a measure, I just don't know if that's the next measure. Finally, Chopin just is left ringing. 1, 2, 3. And the right hand interrupts. And then I think it picks up on A. So, I'm going to now review and double check the sheet music, see how close I was. So I had a pattern. Now I'm just going to stick to one piece and answer the questions I had as they came up. So, that one was right, and I got the whole tone one, which is the same fingers. Oh, yeah, then the tritone started together. I did have that right. And there's another tritone. So I actually did have that right too. The second one is more straightforward because it just goes 4 notes down instead of like changing direction. So we get. I think I got that whole pattern right. I might have missed that the pointer finger is on F. I think I might have went to 3 or thumb or something. And then the next one, I knew it started on D flat, but oh, I went to the second time. There's 2 patterns. The first one goes up to E flat, and the second one goes down to C flat or B natural. the two are, and then I think what's throwing me too is actually the fingering in the right hand. 3, 2, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. So, and then 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2. It's more complex the second time with a twist. 2 in the middle, and then kind of crossing over. So. I see. Yeah. Okay. So. And then. Cool. And then I know I got the A one right, and it's all pointer finger. And I think that's where I left off, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7 measures, and in the Chopin I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 groups of 2, and that makes sense. There was, because I skipped one in the Ligeti, so they equal out. So here we go. Now I go back to the Chopin. For the first question I had mentally was if I hold the C sharp in the middle or not. But it's actually restruck, which is how I did it. 2, 3, 2, 3. So that was right. And then I was also right that the next one started with a tie. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Restart. 1, 2, 3. And the second one also has no tie with the C sharp until the second chord. 1, 2, 3. So that first group is no different except the dot is added. Smooth and then jagged. I had that right. And then I had the finger substitution right once I remembered it. 1, 2, 3. And then it just rings out. Okay, so the Chopin actually went better than the Ligeti. Now I'm going to try to play both phrases. Here's Chopin first. Feels good. The Ligeti, let's see if that feels good. No. Okay, I can tell where I'm going wrong still, but it is actually more confident. So. I got wrong. Cool. And with 2, 1 there, yeah. And then, yeah, that was right. Oh, that's what I had wrong as a finger in the left hand. But I'm gonna do some of the woodshedding off camera later. But the point is basically, the concept is very simple, but see how much it challenges. I know these pieces well enough to play it. But see, I can do that looking at it, and then when I have no score, I'm like, where am I? So it needs to reach that level of consciousness that I have when I'm looking at it, as if I'm looking at it. And really the only way to get there is this kind of thing, where you just give your brain something so difficult that it has to stretch. And I've been talking about this a lot in my recent videos. It's sort of something that I think everybody who's really good at something, they may not understand it consciously, but they do this in their practice somehow. They push themselves past their comfort zone, and their brain has to then reach that new out-of-the-box comfort zone, and then until it is your new comfort zone, and all of a sudden you get better. So you don't want to just keep practicing it over and over. The worst thing I could do on the Ligeti is just sit here and do slow practice, like looking at the score, because that's not stretching me to do anything I can't do already. So it's not going to actually make it better. It's just going to get really stale and probably get worse. So anyway, very simple concept today. I hope this was helpful. Let me know in the comments how you might use this idea in your own repertoire. I'd love to hear the application and what pieces you're playing. Thanks for watching.